Okay, so we're going to do circulatory system for cat. We're again only focusing on very big, major blood vessels, so we're not going to worry about a lot of different stuff. And a couple of things to keep in mind is, number one, the exact orientation on an individual is always different from any other individual. They do branch and fork in particular ways, but for now we're going to stick to the big ones. So what I'm holding right here is right out of the heart. This would be dorsal aorta. And you can see this extends all the way back up, and eventually it'll meet with the main body of the aorta. So the dorsal aorta distributes blood all the way down the body of the cat. You can see that I've popped it, unfortunately, so this is where it used to connect right here. So, oh, not there. There you go. Can you see that? Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, right there.
Okay. In terms of telling aorta or arteries from veins apart, they have injected the veins with blue latex and the arteries with pink, but obviously in an actual animal you wouldn't have that. But what you can use is arteries are typically smaller in diameter and much more muscular. So fairly small, very, very tough, and that's to maintain high blood pressure. Whereas veins, such as what we're seeing down here, are typically much larger in diameter and much thinner walled. All right, so we'll start from the dorsal aorta and go down. So dorsal aorta comes down here, and you can see that this comes down and splits right there. And that's splitting into the two iliac arteries, so going into the legs. Should be laying something more like this, but it's kind of been twisted around. From there, blood will circulate down to the legs. We're not going to worry about the smaller vessels. But what you're seeing right here are the two iliac veins coming back. 1, 2. Moving into this large blood vessel, which collects blood from all over the body, called the post cava. So this big, giant blood vessel. In a human, this would be vena cava. But post cava is this major blood vessel right here, running along the distance of the entire body. What you can see very clearly right here, this is the kidney. So we're looking at the renal artery and the renal vein. The renal artery is a little harder to see. It's this thin pink line right here, running into the actual kidney, and then the renal vein is running back out right here. So moving on up into the chest, what we're going to worry about primarily are the branches that you can see coming out into the arms and neck. Oh man, I am making a mess. Sorry for all the gross noises again. So what you can see right here coming out here, prior to the branch, you can see there's a very distinctive branch right here that'll eventually go on up into the cat. The ones we want you to know for sure is before the branch, right here. This is subclavian vein. So subclavian vein is basically just going to empty back into the post cava, or into the pre-cava, sorry. The pre-cava drains blood from the heart up, post cava, heart down. So the major blood vessel right here is emptying into, right before it goes into the heart, is the pre-cava. So pre-cava, subclavian. This will split off and be brachial eventually. I'm looking at the right one here. Yeah. Yep. And so this is why we're not holding you guys terribly responsible for veins. The roadmap is what comes off where. This one pretty clearly goes up into the head, so I don't think, maybe we won't ask you for brachial. Nah, fuck it, that's a big one.
Yeah, brachial's pretty visible. You can see it on the arm.
Yeah, screw it. We'll go with brachial. So brachial, this is going to become external jugular right here. This very, very large vein. And on the inside here, you can see is internal jugular, the little blue line,
Mm-hmm.
which flanks the common carotid. Should be right next to it. There's a right and a left on this, but again, we won't ask that. But this major artery going up into the head, carotid artery, internal jugular, external jugular, they lay over each other like that.
Well,
And that's all we want from you in terms of kidney veins. Ugh.